Our next guests that we have, our next speakers, are Meredith Darden and Bryan. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Doreian?
Doreian.
Doreian. It's Doreian. Okay. They are here from PIVX. And I'll tell you a little bit about them. Right now we're going to get the slides put together. Wasn't he great, by the way? Fantastic job. You can see why he's such a leader. Big visionary. So Bryan and Meredith are here, and they're going to be talking about a big topic we're all concerned about, which is privacy, blockchains, people, why it matters, who cares, and how a global community of individuals are innovating the future. You two can come up here if you'd like. Yeah. While we're standing here, and you've both got mics?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, you do. Fantastic. So while we're getting set, I'll ask you, what are some of the things that you're going to be talking about?
So basically, we're just going to cover the general premise of PIVX, what we do, how we got here, and then go on to what we're going to be rolling out with our 2018 roadmap.
All right. And you say on here that you are a father, husband, and lover of humanity, believes in you. So explain.
That's right. I'm, as a lot of people know, I'm the ever optimist. There's various people in this lifetime. So we're also going to talk about, that's one of the special features of PIVX, and that's the special feature of any project, is the people that make it up. So it's going to be an interesting topic, I hope, for you guys, because it's privacy and then debunking what that really means, and also about people. So.
All right. How long have you two been working together?
In this lifetime?
They're nicely done.
Yeah, so fairly recent. I've been with PIVX for about 2 months, but I was a part of the community a long time before I actually got involved.
I saw that moderator of 100,000 plus crypto Facebook groups.
100,000 plus members.
Members.
I don't know if there's that many.
I thought I saw 100 plus
yeah.
groups, and then I saw 100K. So thanks for the correction.
Yes, definitely.
All right. So you're a vicious data seeker.
Yes.
So why are you perfect for
researcher.
this job?
I mean, honestly, I love the community. That's actually something that we're gonna touch on. I got involved with the PIVX community before, just through like investing in PIVX, and it really drew me in. And so I deal a lot with communities, working with the Facebook groups and just various different channels. And we just had the total synergy thing going on, and so it works.
So here you are on stage.
Yeah.
So I'll take it away, and let's welcome them with a big round of applause. Got it.
All right, so thank you, everybody. Hey, we're going to do something real quick. Look to your neighbor and give them a really big high five. Like, seriously. All right, the reason for that is because you all are at the cusp, and it's been talked about. Like, you're awesome. You're at the cusp of innovation and advancing humanity together, all right? So like it's important to recognize that whatever these projects are, we're seeking in this together. So PIVX stands for Private Instant Verified Transaction, but before we get into that, show of hands, how many of you have checking accounts and write checks? Right? So how would you feel, let's say you wrote that check to your plumber, okay, and he cashed it, and that gave him a little window into your bank account, and you could see every time money came in, every time money came out, when you got paid, who you're sending it to, etc. Like, how would that make you feel, right? You're probably sitting there going like, that's outrageous. Why would a bank do that and let that occur, right? Like, yeah, so now your plumber knows, bing, you just got paid, and he comes over, he's like, hey, you're late on your payment, right? I just did your house, but I saw you just got paid. That's a little awkward. Right? So the issue with privacy is that people often say, well, I've got nothing to hide. And to that point, I go, that's fine, then let me see all your emails. Right? Let me see into your bank accounts then, if you have nothing to hide. Well, that's private. Exactly. Right? You start to feel something, even though you have nothing to hide, you start to feel something in your gut like, well, that's a little sensitive. I don't want to give it to you, but maybe you. And in the meantime, there are forensic teams analyzing all of your data in the background, selling it, using it, tracking it, right? So it's actually not your checks. It's most of the cryptocurrencies that are out there, right? Most people don't realize when they're doing transactions back and forth, There's forensic teams looking at everything. Oh, and by the way, it's not just forensic teams. You know, you send something to me. I've now got your wallet address, and I can go look at the transaction and then just see everything that goes there, okay? People are putting data points together on all of these financial transactions, linking your identities to those. So why does that really matter? Well, for people who are holding assets in crypto, now they know how much you have, right? So introduce PIVX. Again, private, instant, verified transaction. We are the world's fastest and lowest cost privacy-oriented cryptocurrency on the market. And we'll get into that and about why that matters, but there's a lot of people who care about privacy. So Meredith is going to tell you a little bit more about it.
Decaf, right? Okay, good, thanks.
Okay, so is everyone in here pretty familiar with PIVX, or you guys are kind of new to what we do? Nope. No? Okay, we got some PIVX fans in here. So prior to becoming PIVX, we were Darknet. Does anyone remember Darknet? Yeah, okay. So basically, January 31st, 2016, we did the Faircoin launch, and then January 1st, 2017, we rebranded to PIVX. Since then, we've had a tremendous amount of growth, and it's been just incredible to watch and see it all unfold. But the thing that sets PIVX apart from many other privacy coins is the fact that we don't have miners. We are proof of stake. So we use the proof of stake consensus algorithm instead of mining. So miners it's not as energy efficient. It affects future development. We're prone to 51% attacks whenever we're using that consensus mechanism. And basically, with using proof of stake, it just puts a lot more power into our community and back into our hands. And so that's how we decided to go ahead and do it that way. We also we're fully self-funded, so we don't need an ICO. We haven't have to reach out and get different parties to invest into PIVX. Instead, 10% of the staking comes back into the community for development. So we pay our marketers, we pay our developers, side projects, various different things that we're developing and working on are all self-funded, which takes away, it brings to the table the whole concept of decentralization. So it's definitely, in our opinion, it's the most efficient and best way to keep the community and to keep the community together, so to speak. So we also have voting in our community, so masternodes vote. We have a very, very large development team. Our development team is 7 full-time developers. They're constantly working very, very hard. We have a professional cryptographer. So our team, they're fully dedicated to PIVX and to developing what we're doing. We're all hanging out in our Discord. We all spend time there answering questions and just being very, very involved in the community. And we're open to anyone who would like to develop or who is interested in developing. And of course, the topic of privacy. We are a privacy coin, and like Bryan was touching on, whenever I first got into crypto, my background is not in, anything like tech or finance. And so I heard people talking about different privacy coins, and we know, some of the bigger ones like Monero, and that was the first thing that I heard of. And whenever I heard people talking about privacy, I had that exact same sentiment, thinking, okay, I'm not selling drugs, I'm not money laundering, I'm not doing anything illegal, so why do I need privacy? And fortunately, I'm a researcher, like I said, so I spend a lot of time reading and just looking at what other people have experienced. And then I just slowly began to realize, as I got more into decentralization and into everything that we stand for, that it was very, very, very important to protect ourselves, not to hide anything, but instead to make sure that our information is protected, because that's a human right. We have a right to privacy. We have a right to being able to decide what information we want divulged and what information that we don't want divulged. So On that, I don't necessarily want anyone to know how much crypto I have, how much money I have in my bank account, where I'm spending my money, and who I'm interacting with. And that's not because I'm doing anything illegal or anything wrong, but it's because it's my business and it's private. And so we have implemented Zero Coin. I'm sure most of you are familiar with that. We implemented that in October. And so we're really, really focused on being the most private, fastest, cheapest privacy coin that there is. And so, Zero Coin, the protocol, it adds features into what we already had that make it truly, truly private, and a lot, easier to, I guess, basically keep things very, very, very closed off. So, PIVX, we have had a lot of firsts. We have done a lot of things, that we're very proud of. So we were the first proof-of-stake coin to upgrade to the code base above the 0.1 Bitcoin core. We also were the first proof-of-stake privacy coin to have proof-of-stake to have masternodes. We're the first proof-of-stake coin to have a treasury. We're also the first proof-of-stake coin to have built-in governance. We're the world's first coin with the BIP38 encryption-decryption in wallet. And we also are the masternodes unanimously vote to change the distribution of votes to include the entire PIVX community. And then, like I said, we just recently implemented the Zero Coin protocol. And we also are very, very globally focused. Our communities are based all over the world, so we translate everything. Our website is translated into 30 native languages. Our videos, we have subtitles for many, many different languages. So we're focused on bringing everyone together. We have experienced tremendous growth in the past 10 months. So you can see here, back whenever before we rebranded, we had 1,060 followers on Twitter. Now we have, actually it's over, I think it's over like 55,000 now. We've got tons of YouTube followers, and so people are starting to notice what PIVX is doing and how we're doing it. So, and I will turn it over to Bryan to go ahead and work on the roadmap.
So, so that's a little bit about PIVX, where we were, who we are, and then this is the roadmap. Actually, this is the abbreviated roadmap for 2018 for PIVX. The core developers have about 38 planned upgrades. This is, I think, like 5 of them, so bear with me. ZPIV staking, right? So again, we were talking about privacy and about what that is. Again, come over to our booth, talk. It's way too in-depth to get into it here. Plus, I'd like to sit down when I talk about it. So this is a first. You will be able to stake your privacy coins, right? So that means you can, in essence, take your entire balance of your PIVX, convert it so it's completely anonymous, and stake on it, right? You're earning rewards. It will become the largest population of privacy coins in the market, and you'll earn more rewards when you do that. So that's one. Ledger hardware wallet masternode collateral support. That's a big mouthful. Basically to say, your collateral for masternode, again, another tech feature that adds other layers of computation and privacy. You can take that, put it into a ledger, unplug it from your computer, throw it into a safe, give it to your dog, whatever you want to do, but it's not connected, right? It's not online anymore. And still run your masternode, which means you're earning rewards, all right? So it's another layer of security and privacy for the PIVX community and for people who adopt it. The first private decentralized in-wallet exchange, okay? So this means that when you run the core PIVX wallet on your laptop or computer, you will be able to put Bitcoin into it and back out ZPIV, okay? This is huge when it comes to beginning to give privacy to people and give them the choice, right? You no longer have to necessarily give your information to a centralized exchange. You're running your wallet. You're in control of the blockchain, getting rewarded for it, and now you can take your Bitcoin that somebody gave you, put it in your wallet yourself, and now it's private. Another big thing, if you can't tell, that's why there's 2 of us on stage, is Community, okay? So what was on that slide before is the master nodes, basically community voted. We want more people to be involved and have input, right? If two people are telling you what to do, or they think it's what's best, they get into arguments, then nothing gets implemented into the code base Bitcoin. Did I say that out loud? I did. So what we have is community, right? If you've got thousands of people giving their input, the project is going to grow faster because there's more inputs. So why not let people have that freedom, empower people to make choices for themselves? That's what happens in PIVX. People are deciding the direction of this project because they care. They're part of the community, they're passionate, and they're empowered because privacy is given back to them. So this is going to be coming, and by the way, it's a lot of work to figure out how to create the new governance for cryptocurrencies. It's not as simple as a binary yes-no vote, right? 1 equals 1, because then people can game the system. We've seen it, right? We're building the new democracy for people, by the people. This is a real fancy tech thing to say. Basically, your IPs will be masked, okay? So I'm not really sure how this works. Again, I'm not the tech guy, so it's a cute little cartoon, but basically, again, different layers of privacy. We've been talking about ledger privacy, keeping all of your finances secure and private. This is another aspect of privacy, your IP addresses, right? So just another layer giving back to people and empowering them to keep themselves protected and secure. Elastic blocks, again, talking about scaling issues. We're already proof of stake. Hooray, we're not slowing down to get to consensus. We're doing it together. This is going to allow for when we hit 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 transactions a second, we'll be able to handle it, okay? Also on top of that, just as an aside, I think we had one block where there was 700, 800 transactions in that second, and the network handled it fine. So, do you want to talk about community a little bit? Input, or do you want to keep running?
I will gladly talk about community some.
Yeah.
So yeah, the whole reason that I got involved with PIVX, like I mentioned a couple of times, is because I was involved in our community. I am a people person. So what I like to do is reach out and connect. And I've done that my whole life. That's just who I am. So whenever I got involved in crypto, naturally I got involved socially. That took me a little time, but I started to get on Reddit and then Facebook, Twitter. I'm not a huge YouTube watcher, but I watched a few people's videos, and I started to get a sense that there definitely was a community surrounding cryptocurrency and blockchain technology as a whole. It wasn't until I was on the PIVX website looking into purchasing PIVX that I joined the Discord. And whenever I did, it was like a completely different world than what I was used to seeing in crypto. So, you'll see people who make comments throughout different mediums like, buy this, buy that, but, and that's the community, so to speak, or the people who want to push and drive the price up and surround their coin and support their coin that way. But whenever I got into PIVX, I'm in the Discord and I'm looking, and literally everything was transparent. They had all the people who were officially employed by PIVX in there discussing everything that was going on. Community members were contributing. People were brainstorming ideas, submitting content, it was like a family. And I know that sounds really cliche, but everyone in there calls, we refer to each other as our nicknames all the time. He's Snappy. I'm Murph in there. And so we actually just, built this rapport. And that, to me, is so powerful whenever you're dealing, and I hate to say this, but a lot of times when it comes to these different coins, you just don't know who you're dealing with. There's no community. There's no real power that each individual has, even just owning the coin, other than, like I said, just saying, hey, let's make the price go up, or let's orchestrate, pump and dumps and things like that. Community can work both ways. It can either uplift and bring people together, or it can be really damaging and dangerous, as we've all seen, and hopefully none of us have had to experience that firsthand. But The community aspect, like I said, is what drew me in. The fact that we have power, for voting. We have a say-so in every single thing that happens and every decision that's made. Our input is welcomed, appreciated, and actually, it's listened to. The feedback is listened to because it is us. We are PIVX. Everyone who owns PIVX, everyone who comes into our community, that is PIVX. You are PIVX. And so it definitely set the standard for me as far as community, and I'm just really grateful to be a part of it.
If there's one thing to be taken away from this talk, this is all incredible tech, and I'm not just saying PIVX. I mean, PIVX is pretty freaking incredible, but this whole space, this tech, is incredible. Some of us barely understand it. Some of us understand it a little bit more. But at the end of the day, it's tech. Without people, relationships, connections, this is moot, right? So one of the biggest things, and I think one of the biggest values of PIVX is empowering people, right? You can run the entire blockchain yourself. You're in control of your finances. If you're not running the blockchain, you're really not in control of your finances, are you? So with PIVX, you're in control. You're empowered because you run the entire blockchain. You're getting paid for it. You can have a say in the development of it and future growth of that, however you see fit, amongst the community that's doing it as well. So to give you a little taste of our community, let's see if this actually works. We might have to, there you go.
There we go.
PIVX です。みんな Keep it purple。
That was all her. Okay, that's a community member, empowered, right? She's in Tokyo. A friend of mine reached out to her, and I just said, hey, I don't speak Japanese. Do you think she want to make a video at PIVX? And she came and she's like, well, what do I need to say? And what I basically got translated to her is, just do whatever you want. And that's what she created. I still don't know what it says, but something about PIVX is, and keep it purple, so I fucking like it. Sorry about the language, not really, kind of, but anyway. I get a little fired up if you haven't seen me speak before or talk to me. So I'm gonna leave you with this. We'll walk off the stage. This is just gonna roll. This is what we're all part of in PIVX, and you are more than welcome to join. So thank you for listening.
I have many memories of my childhood growing up. Some are just flickers of light or shapes that barely reveal the moment. But there they are, tumbling around my head like an endless clothes dryer, offering tiny glimmers of a sock or a favorite shirt, and then they're gone. Then there are memories which are bold and full, like permanent ink, beautifully stained onto the canvas of my mind's eye. Not short scenes, rather long plays of color, emotion, sounds, and smells. And these memory tattoos seem to have shaped me in some way into who I am now. Almost all of these seem to have centered around a common place. Nothing fancy, elaborate, or profound. The centerpiece of these moments, the common table. At a family feast, there's much to prepare. We try and bring out the best linens, our favorite plates and glassware. We arrange for certain family members or friends to bring their special dish. One might bring the pies, another the sides and drinks, and of course, the host always took care of the beast. Others brought their tall tales, usually embellished, but always treasured stories. All of us offering our gifts and bringing our best to the table. Like in life, when we bring our best to share with others, something special happens. It creates something the whole world longs for: genuine community and purpose. And so, between the food, the drinks, and the desserts, we tend to linger long at this table. Stories are shared, lives are enriched, and we remind ourselves about the investment we are all part of. PIVX is more than a currency. It's an adventure, a cause, an epic story we are all starring in. So, bring your best, pull up a chair, and welcome to the table.
Well done. Very nice. Let's give him another round of applause. It's great.